Ramaswamy has pretty much been kicked to the curb, and no, I'm not kidding. Now, you all might remember that around 3 weeks ago, Vivek Ramaswamy got caught up in a ton of drama regarding H-1B visas, ultimately pissing off tons of MAGA voters. But you see, it wasn't just that Vivek supported H-1B visas, it was also that he criticized American workers and, more importantly, American culture. So as a quick reminder, let's do a recap of what Vivek said in late December to piss everyone off, then we'll dive into where things stand now. As Vivek posted on December 26th, the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit, a lazy and wrong explanation. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers, and if we're really serious about fixing the problem, we have to confront the truth. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s and likely longer. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. And so really, it was this post here that infuriated a lot of Americans. Because, I'm going to be honest, American culture is not mediocre or inferior to Indian culture, which is where most H-1B visa workers come from. Sorry, if that gets me in trouble with Mr. Ramaswamy, then so be it. America is awesome, American workers are the best in the world, and American culture has created the greatest nation on the planet. And by now, we all know that H-1B visas are much less about bringing in high-skill labor and much more about bringing in cheap labor that can be used to replace American workers. And so here's the thing. After posting this tweet, Vivek caught a ton of blowback from MAGA voters. So much blowback, in fact, that Vivek ended up disappearing from social media for around 3 weeks. He just disappeared, presumably hoping that things would blow over. In fact, some rumors suggest that Trump's team actually told him to stop posting. But just a few days ago, Vivek returned, and he returned with some big announcements. The first of which was this: Dawn of a New Golden Age starts on Monday, in which he's presumably talking about Trump's inauguration. Now, here's the problem for Vivek Ramaswamy. Trump voters haven't forgotten. In fact, what I want to do is read through some of the top replies to Vivek's tweet with you guys. Our memories are not as short as you thought. I know, we're all lazy dumb Americans, but still. The golden age begins when you leave our country. You'll never touch the presidency with a 10-foot pole. Golden age of importing foreigners to replace Americans? We haven't forgotten, Vivek. You exposed yourself on the open stage with the H-1B scam. You should apologize to hardworking Americans and admit you were wrong. What you wrote wounded a lot of people and permanently caused distrust between MAGA and the Trump administration on immigration. So as you can see, even 3 weeks later, people are still pissed off. And also, by the way, these aren't comments from random accounts. All of these are huge Twitter accounts with thousands of likes on these comments. And so I have to imagine that Vivek isn't particularly happy about this reception to his return, considering it seems like Vivek still has some pretty lofty political aspirations. Take a look at this. As reported by the New York Times, Vivek Ramaswamy plans to run for Ohio governor. And now, real quick, I know what you're thinking. Isn't Vivek Ramaswamy supposed to be working alongside Elon Musk in the upcoming Department of Government Efficiency? Well, as it would turn out, maybe not. As reported by CBS, Vivek Ramaswamy is reportedly set to exit the DOGE following tension with staff. So right now, things aren't exactly looking very bright for Mr. Ramaswamy. He recently torched a ton of goodwill with the MAGA voters, calling them mediocre and saying that they need to be replaced with H-1B Indians, and now it seems like he's slowly being pushed out of the Trump administration. So any gubernatorial aspirations that Vivek might have aren't exactly looking so great at the moment. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys and momentarily make a shift from reporting to editorializing. I have always had a terrible feeling about Mr. Vivek Ramaswamy. To me, he always came across as a silver-tongued chameleon, willing to adopt whatever beliefs he needed to in order to climb the political ladder of success. I think for a period he was able to tap into the populist MAGA energy, but over time, people really began to see exactly who he is. He's not really one of us. If he was, he wouldn't be calling American culture mediocre and calling for the replacement of Americans with Indian H-1B. Don't trust his sincerity.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connecting, the one platform that replaces
sincerity for 1 single minute. And I also hope that he stays as far away as possible from the gubernatorial position in Ohio. The good people of Ohio shouldn't have to deal with him. I'm telling you guys, this whole H-1B fiasco really exposed who Vivek truly is. He doesn't view America in the same way that we do. When he looks at America, he sees dollar signs, gross domestic product, graphs, and charts, and when he looks at Americans, he sees interchangeable units of economic productivity. But that's not all that this country is. We are more than that, or at least we should be. At the end of the day, Trump doesn't owe anything to Vivek, and if he causes more trouble than he's worth, he should be excommunicated. When Vivek is perceived as being a part of Trump's inner circle, then goes on Twitter causing tons of drama, it's gotta stop. And just as one of those tweets we looked at earlier said, what Vivek had to say about H-1B visas and American culture really did do a ton of damage to people's perception of Trump's immigration policy. People didn't vote for Trump to import 1 million H-1B Indians per year. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. People voted for Trump to put America first, and that includes putting the American workers first, not replacing them with cheap foreign labor. And so when Vivek goes on Twitter and defends H-1B visas by effectively calling American workers lazy, in my opinion, he's gotta go. We also can't overlook the very uncomfortable fact that tons of Americans, namely white American men, have been systematically discriminated against by programs like affirmative action and various DEI hiring and promotional programs. So when you tell these young men that have been kneecapped every single step of the way that they're just lazy, and that's why they didn't get into the university that they applied to, or that that's why they didn't get the job that they applied for, and then you say that we don't have qualified workers, so we need to import H-1B Indians, that's where you're very rightfully going to piss a lot of people off. Because we have Americans that can do these jobs, they've just been banished for over a decade. But anyway, I think that's all I've got for you guys today with this one. We'll have to see what truly ends up happening